Hello and welcome back to another one of my videos here on YouTube. My name is Sticky Quince. Today I wanted to take a look at the new 8BitDo SNK NEO GEO pad, which is supposed to be a copy of the original SNK Neo Geo pad here for the Neo Geo CD, or the regular old cartridge system. A friend of mine has been nice enough to lend me his controller. This is the controller, one of the controllers that we played on growing up. His parents were nice enough to buy a Neo Geo CD, which was a big deal back in the day. No one had one. Like, we played games in the arcade. We absolutely loved SNK games, King of Fire, obviously Fatal Fury, Art of Fighting. We played them all. To be honest, anything fighting game related, we in the arcade, just like loving it. Playing anything we could, fighting game related. Street Fighter came out and made everything massive. So anyway, what I really want to do with this video is just see exactly, like, the feel-wise, how well 8BitDo have nailed it. Because I've been playing with this quite a bit on Fightcade, and after all this time, I've realised it is hard, to get back into the micro switch stick here, and I wanted to see if it was like the original, because I've got memories of being an expert at fighting games with this thing, and obviously SNK games, a lot of the moves for the fighting games, they had to be precise, a bit like Street Fighter 2 back in the day. People didn't probably forgotten how precise you had to be on those quarter circles, half circles. With SNK games, the fighting games, a lot of the supers were done like quarter circle back, half circle forwards, punch kick. So you really benefited from having this micro switch sort of circle gate. So I wanted to borrow this off my friend and just compare them, just feel. We're just comparing feel. I don't have the console here, so I can't show you gameplay on that and then compare the gameplay between the two. The other problem is, obviously, this is wired. This is not. I think there's probably going to be latency issues, even if I did wire this in, compared to this one. So really, this controller's winning on that one already. But anyway, let's just have a general look. Obviously, they've nailed the look, I think. With the 8BitDo, they always do a great job. One thing I have noticed is, obviously, it feels a bit stiffer than I remember. But what you've got to take into consideration is that this is well worn. It sounds different, doesn't it? The click sounds slightly different. I should imagine it's got something to do with the plastic or the internal, what's going on internally, because we've got more than just the board in here. We've got bumpers here as well. So that's going to change the sound of the click. The click does feel different. Obviously this was a bit dirty as well in here, but I think that this is just really well worn. This is the thing that I wanted to have a look at the most. was the micro switches. It does feel different. But getting into the corners, it does feel different. I don't know if it's just this pad, like the micro switches are probably quite worn in here, but I feel like there's a bit more distance into the corners. Maybe. Like I said, maybe it's just wear and tear. I think the size, if we put them up together, this is really hard to do on camera by now. Yeah. I think it's spot on size. I can't really tell any difference there. And width. The pad has got like this sort of thicker section here where your controller, where your thumbstick is, and then it goes thinner to where the buttons. There's another thing that people probably have never noticed before. I've only noticed this recently. The A button here sits a bit higher than all the rest. I'm not too sure why that is. I think it's just because they wanted to keep those flat in line, see? There. But because of that, that one protrudes a little bit higher. And it's exactly the same on the original pad. Start and select in the exact same place. They've nailed that. The only difference is this is a newer pad, so it's blacker, and the writing's different. And we've got the L and R buttons, which does actually feel kind of weird to have it on it, but I appreciate it. In case you wanted to play other games. On the back here, we've got Bluetooth and what's that say? 2.46. I'm not entirely sure what that is. Like it comes, when you buy this, it comes with a dongle. So that's probably just like the dongle setting there. And then you can just, if your PC's got Bluetooth, you can just switch over there and do that. But it's just connected to the dongle that's plugged into my PC at the moment. So, what am I gonna, if I was to pick one, I think the click is better on here. It sounds better, but I think that's probably going to be because of the plastic used and because we've got a lot more going on in here internally, so the acoustics are going to come out a little bit different. I'm going to say this one feels a bit rougher. It's hard to describe it, but there's some sort of like grinding going on in there. Probably because we beat it up, you know. This one definitely feels smoother. They SNK Games also had this other fight, sort of like way of doing the supers where it was forwards and back around. A lot of the characters had that. Of course, some of the throwing characters had 2 half circles. They really, went over the top on the difficulty on how to do these moves compared to Street Fighter back in the day. But most of the supers, I would say, were quarter circle and a half circle. Like Kyo's super with a punch. This is the other thing. Punches were always here. Hard punch was there, hard kick was there. And these were the lights. So punches, kicks, which doesn't actually take that long to get used to, actually, thinking on it. So what do I think of the new 8BitDo pad? Well, I think you know what I'm going to say about it. It's bloody fantastic. I absolutely love 8BitDo pads. They do a fantastic job they can't be beat, to be honest. And I was really happy when this came out. I had to get it shipped from America, this one. I pre-ordered it. American Amazon I got this from. And the funny thing is, I'm trying to think how long ago this was, probably a year, maybe 2 years ago, I emailed 8BitDo and said, I really want a Neo Geo pad, please make a Neo Geo pad. And I got an email back saying, wait and see in the future, with something we've definitely thought about, and here it is. So I'm really pleased they brought this thing out. I love it. Me and my friends play it on Fightcade. And yeah, I can't recommend it enough. I'm not being paid or sponsored by them at all to say any of this stuff. I'm just a really big fan of SNK games, and just for nostalgic, it's worth having this pad, to be honest. But I mean, if you're really used to playing with one of these micro switch circle gate sticks, like we are from back in the day, really worth getting one of these, guys. So that's it. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. I highly recommend it. Go check it out. Have a fantastic rest of the day, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.